Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is Rabbi Tom Gardner of Riverdale Temple, and I am making a recording before Shabbat. Usually on Shabbat on Saturday, after our Torah reading, we have a Torah discussion. So in lieu of the Torah discussion, I'm going to read our third Aliyah, which we would have done in person. The cantor actually is making a recording of it. And also just, say a few words about what we might have discussed in our Torah discussion. So we're at the end of the book of Exodus. It's a double portion, Vayekhel and Pekudei. These are the last two parshiot in the book of Exodus. We have been talking about the creation of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, in the desert, as well as all of its accoutrements. And so the third Aliyah, traditional third Aliyah, is about the menorah, which is being made, and also the incense altar. So, chapter 37 of Exodus, verse 17. He made the menorah of pure gold. He made the lampstand, its base and its shaft, of hammered work. Its cups, calyxes, and petals were of one piece with it. 6 branches issued from its sides, 3 branches from one side of the menorah and 3 branches from the other side of the menorah. There were 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals on one branch. And there were 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals on the next branch, so for all 6 branches issuing from the menorah. And a calyx is it's that green stuff at the bottom of the flower underneath the petals. On the menorah itself, there were 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with calyx and petals, a calyx of one piece with it under a pair of branches, and a calyx of one piece with it under the second pair of branches, and a calyx of one piece with it under the last pair of branches, so for all 6 branches issuing from it. Their calyxes and their stems were of one piece with it, the whole of it a single hammered piece of pure gold. He made it 7 lamps, its tongs and its fire pans of pure gold. He made it and all of its furnishings out of a talent of pure gold. He made the incense altar out of acacia wood, a cubit long and a cubit wide, square, and 2 cubits high. Its horns were of one piece with it. He overlaid it with pure gold, its top, its sides round about, and its horns, and he made a gold molding for it round about. He made 2 rings for it under its molding on its 2 walls, on opposite sides, as holders for the poles with which to carry it. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He prepared the sacred anointing oil and the pure aromatic incense, expertly blended. So that's the parsha the part of the parsha that we would have read, and so the question is that we have this menorah. And it's shaped in many ways like some kind of plant. We know that there actually is a plant in Israel that looks kind of like a menorah. But the question is, what is it in our history, in our story, that has a plant that emits light? And the answer is, of course, the burning bush. So it seems that the menorah is our attempt to take that moment when heaven touched earth, when Moses confronted God, when holiness and the ordinary world came together, and to bring that moment with us wherever we go. That is our symbol, the menorah. And it was our symbol long before the Star of David became our symbol. So we have then plant representing the ordinary, mundane world, and light representing holiness. And light is really a wonderful metaphor for holiness, because light is something that cannot be touched. It cannot be seen itself, but we see it on things. We see its effect on things. And in fact, everything that we see, we can only see because there is light, but we are not seeing the light itself. We are seeing it bounce off the other things. So I guess my question is that what you can talk about is, in what ways is holiness like light? And in what ways does this metaphor not work? I think it's also interesting that at the very beginning of Parsha Vayikhel, God tells people that they need to keep Shabbat, and he says, you shall kindle no fire in your settlements on Shabbat. So, so light is important, and on Shabbat we need to have just God's light, not our own light. So it seems that maybe light is more than holiness, because holiness only comes from God, right? But there is an element that light represents that we can produce by ourselves, but on Shabbat we only want to have it from God. So what is that element? And let's think about light. Let's think about holiness. And I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.